Hola, bienvenidos a un video más. Ya saben mi nombre es Iván, my name's Ivan, y hoy vamos a ver algunas de los posts o de los mensajes que la gente sube al Facebook o en otros lugares. Voy a hacer algunos videos de este tipo. Así que comencemos. Voy a apagar mi cámara y nos vamos a concentrar en esto. Dice acá ideas de construcción y remodelación, planos y mucho más, como esto sería como en construction and remodeling ideas, plans and much more. Y aquí tenemos el primero que queremos analizar. Quiero verlo, voy a hacer un poquito más grande. Y vamos a ver, anotar, destacar. Eso es lo primero que queremos ver. Noten lo que la persona dice acá. This is a question, right? But he didn't use question marks. So that is incorrect. But we understand that he is asking a question. At least he used the mark here, que. Usó la tilde sobre el que. Entonces dice, ¿qué tal se ve esta casita? Y aquí está la imagen. Tenemos esta casa en construcción y se ven las nubes arriba. Entonces la persona dice, ¿qué tal se ve esta casita? So, what do you think this means? ¿Qué tal se ve esta casita? Probably you know ve, right? Se ve esta casita. So you understand esta, you understand casita, but how about this? ¿Qué tal se ve esta casita? It should be a question, right? So we should have is here at least this one, right? At least, although because in formal Spanish we don't use this one at the beginning. I mean, if it is understood, right? Sometimes in the formal Spanish we can put it like this, really, or at least the second one. No, the first one is not so important. So, what does it mean? ¿Qué tal se ve esta casita? So that means ¿qué tal? You know that ¿qué tal is used for how are you, right? Sometimes we say ¿qué tal? Or we mix the expression ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo te va? Which means how are you? How are you doing? But it is correct to say both. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo está usted? And sometimes people just say ¿qué tal? And that means how are you? Really, I almost never use it, but many people use that. So, ¿qué tal means how are you? But in this case, ¿qué tal means how. That's the idea in this context, because they are not asking people, right? How are you guys? So we can say that here, ¿qué tal? Es igual a decir ¿cómo? So the person is saying, ¿cómo se ve esta casita? ¿Cómo se ve? How does this house look? So remember that verse means look. How does this house look? Well, this little house, this person said. ¿Cómo se ve esta casita? Se ve bien. It looks good. Yeah, so verse is look, right? So we use this form. ¿Cómo se ve esta casita? If you say, ¿qué tal ve esta casita? That person is asking you directly, but here the structure is like how is this house looked? So it's like kind of passive voice. ¿Cómo se ve esta casita? And so now let's analyze. Voy a borrar esto de acá. Y vamos a concentrarnos ahora en los comentarios, the comments from people. Bien, vamos a ver acá. Solo déjenme ver si está grabando esto. Sí, se está grabando. Entonces, destacar. Dice Dice Cecilio Morales. Cecilio Morales. Yeah, Morales is a common last name here. Although this one is maybe from Mexico. I don't know where this person is. Jesus Colon. I don't know someone with this last name, Colon, con este apellido, Colón. Jesús Colón, Walter Orellana. Orellana es común también. Entonces él dice, cada quien su gusto. Va. Cada quien su gusto. Va muy bien. Felicidades. So remember that they are commenting on the house, right? And the person asked, how does this little house look? And this person says, cada quien con su gusto. Cada quien. So literally each who, meaning each person. Each person. So quien here is not translated literally. Cada quien su gusto. Or I would prefer to say cada quien con su gusto. I would prefer that. So that means every person has his own choice or his own likes, desires. So I think that he is like defending some previous comments. Maybe someone criticized, and he is defending this person. Everyone has, let's say, the right to decide what he likes. And then he says, va muy bien, felicidades, va muy bien. So talking about the construction, va muy bien. It's going well. Congratulations, felicidades. Sometimes in Spain they say enhorabuena. So if you see that, that means enhorabuena. That means felicidades as well. I never say enhorabuena. Then Jesús Colón dice, hermano, saludos desde Venezuela. Okay, so we have a comment from Venezuela. We know because he's saying Venezuela. Está quedando de lujo su palacio, porque la casa de uno es eso. Felicidades. Me gustó. So he says, hermano, brother. So he's using brother, right? He's not his brother, but he's using brother, like bro. Saludos desde Venezuela. Greetings. Try to translate before I do it, right? Well, I analyze it and think a little bit about this, what it means. I'll give you time. Ya, ahí está mi perra ladrando. Muñeca, cállese. Cállese, vieja chucha. So, says, we'll go back. Voy a volver. Hermano, saludos desde Venezuela. Brother, greetings from Venezuela. And he didn't use commas, right? They don't like, as you can see here, they don't use commas. No usan las comas. So we have to interpret where there is a pause. And so I suppose there is a pause here. And he's talking about the house, remember? Está quedando de lujo. So quedar, you know quedar, right? And the spelling is wrong here. So it should be here. Hold on. Quedando. Del verbo quedar. So you know that quedar means stay, right? So literally he's saying about the house, está quedando de lujo, like it's staying of luxury. So how can we translate this? Quedar in this case is quedando, like this, using ing. Staying would be like I don't know the best verb to explain, but I would say that it's becoming, I mean, little by little, because it's a process, right? They are still building the house. It's like you are building or it's becoming a luxurious, it's becoming of luxury, literally. But I think that I need to think more about this. Maybe I should pause here. Well, I had to think more about this, about the verb quedar, to stay, or quedarse, right, would mean to stay as well. But this one here doesn't mean to stay. So I would say that this expression means something like está quedando bien in the continuous form. It shows that there is a process. So it's not, the process is not finished, but what there is now looks good. So it's like saying it looks luxurious so far, but so far. So far is implied, so to speak. Está quedando de lujo. So de lujo, that's an expression that we use when we want to say that that's high quality, right? Está quedando de lujo. It looks luxurious so far. And it says su palacio, right? Palacio, I think that's is an easy word. Your palace. And he uses usted, right? Because it says su palacio. It doesn't say tu palacio. So Jesús is using usted, su palacio. Porque la casa de uno, because the house of one, literally. So another form would be because one's house, using that form one. I don't know if you personally will use it in the United States, or in other words, because your house, but not literally your, right? But that your generally. But your, because your house is that. So he's comparing a house with a palace, right? I mean, not literally, right? He's saying that each one's house is his own palace, because because one's house is that. Congratulations. And he says me gustó. You understand that, right? Past tense, me gustó. I liked it. So the picture or the house. And then we have Walter Orellana. People may say Walter or Gualter. So W in Spanish may be pronounced like U sometimes, or like Gu, Walter. So if you hear Walter, that is absolutely correct in Spanish because they are not reading in English. Walter Orellana or Walter. I prefer to say Walter, but because I learned English. Todo y cuando uno se sienta cómodo. Todo y cuando. So I think that todo y cuando, I would prefer to use another form. I would use siempre y cuando. They go together. Siempre y cuando, that's like whenever. Another form would be siempre que. Siempre que. Do we have another one? But really, I don't use this one, but that sounds logical. Todo y cuando uno se sienta ya, todo y cuando, siempre y cuando. So whenever, once. So again, right, they are talking not in a personal way directly. Whenever one feels comfortable, no importa lo que los demás piensen. No importa lo que los demás piensen. What does it mean? I'll give you some time. It doesn't matter, no importa, because he doesn't say no me importa, right? So that's not personal, no me importa. No importa, it doesn't matter what. Notice how we always have to include lo, right? Doesn't matter what, no importa lo que los demás, doesn't matter what others, I wouldn't say los otros. No importa lo que los otros piensen. Yeah, it may be possible to use maybe. No importa lo que los otros piensen. But we don't use otros. We use demás. Los demás. This is the meaning for others in that sense. In this context. It doesn't matter what others, other people, los demás, piensen. Subjunctive. Because we're in, sí importa lo que los demás piensan. Well, with the expression importar, right? We have to use subjunctive here. Piensen. No importa lo que los demás piensen. No importa lo que los demás piensen. Está quedando bonita. Notice that this guy, Walter, used the same verb, quedar. No importa lo que los demás piensen. It doesn't matter what others think. It looks pretty. Está quedando muy bonito. Again, quedando indicates that there is a process. It's not done. It's not finished. Otherwise, we would say quedó muy bonita. Quedó muy bonita. So that would be another translation. I don't want to think about that right now. So it looks pretty. Está quedando bonita. Y se ve bien grande. Y se ve bien grande. What does it mean, se ve bien grande? Well, there is a mistake here. Se ve. But if you hear it, se ve, you may understand what it means. There is a mistake, of course. He wanted to say se ve bien grande. Notice how bien here means very or so. It looks very big or so big. So bien here doesn't mean good, right? Probably you have already learned, or maybe not, that bien is used for very or so, bien grande. So whenever one feels good, one feels comfortable, or whenever you feel comfortable, but not you directly talking about the man, right? In general, one feel good, you feel good, people feel good. Whenever you feel comfortable, it doesn't matter what others think. It looks pretty so far, and it looks so big. It looks very big. So I hope that this will help you understand how people speak. This man was from Venezuela. Este hombre era de Venezuela, pero no sabemos de dónde es Cecilio Morales, de dónde es Walter Orellana. But you can see problems when we type, right? Cómodo, that was perfect. Cómodo with the nice spelling, with the accent, con la tilde. But then se ve, he made a mistake here. And the other parts are good, but he didn't use commas again. So you see how people types sometimes, how people type sometimes. Así que espero que este video les ayude un poco. Ahí tengo más comentarios. I have more comments, but I don't want to spend more time here. So maybe I will do a second. I will make a second video. Nos vemos en otro video.